This is Three Black Guys with a Mic, episode 3.
First of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of shit.
Sometimes my mama said, you know, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
People say that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one? Okay.
Are you drinking, Maynard?
I don't know.
Are you drinking?
I don't even understand how you could even put Common and Bob Marley and Marvin Gaye. And even Marvin Gaye
I'm
is
saying
saying,
that, Lamont. Who's on your iPhone, iPad? Who's in your playlist right now that ain't saying this?
Maynard, I know you a little bit on the right, and Lamont, I know you got that country club lifestyle. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic. Hey, real quick before we start the show, right after this episode, we want you to give us some feedback. You like it, you hate it, you can't stand Maynard, or you like Lamont, or you love Maynard and you can't stand Lamont. Either way, we want to know. Go to iTunes, Google Play, or however you listen to this podcast, rate us and leave us a review. That's how we get more listeners, you know? So we need you to subscribe to this podcast if you like it. Tell your friends about it and download it right at iTunes. Also, be sure to check us out on our website at threeblackguyswithamic.com and be sure to join in on the conversation on our Facebook page at facebook.com/threeblackguys. And now let's start the show. We are back for episode 3 of Three Black Guys with a Mic, man. It is Spud, Maynard, Lamont Hayes. We are in this joint. Can you be friends with a racist? Are black people their own problem? Is Shia Leboeuf the next white rapper? And much more. We all talking about it on this episode of Three Black Guys with a Mic. Lamont Hayes got his Kettle One. The suburban black got his scotch. I got a brewski. Fellas, let's toast it up for episode 3 of Three Black Guys with a Mic. Let's do it. Now, we all have been overwhelmed with Tomi Lahren and Trevor Noah and Charlemagne the God. And you know what? I just got to give props to Charlemagne the God because I ain't mad at my man. He get him some national publicity right now. But we all know that Tomi Lahren went on Trevor Noah's show, The Daily Show, and was talking about, you know, Black Lives Matter. And she compared him to the KKK and all this other stuff. And then, you know, she went out with Charlemagne the God and Trevor Noah. And then all of a sudden the world went ham on both of them where people was calling Charlemagne the God a Sambo and, you know, talking about, you know, he was a sellout and calling him by his government name and saying he was the devil and the whole 9 yards. Now, I did watch the interview, you know, where Trevor Noah was on The Breakfast Club. And he was saying that, you know, we got to be able to extend these conversations to people that don't agree, you know, with us. And he was like, I can be friends with the racist. So I got to start this conversation, this podcast off today with our suburban black, ladies and gentlemen, because he's from the suburbs and he hangs, you know, around white people. So let's kick it off with my man, Maynard. Maynard, can you be friends with a racist? And is it a way for us to continue or start the dialogue between African Americans and people who don't, and not even just African Americans, but people who don't agree with us? You know, can we be in the same room? Can we actually start to, you know, understand each other even though we don't agree with each other? So, can you be friends with a racist?
Well, you know, you asked like 5 questions there. So let's start with this. Can you be friends with a racist? You probably already are.
Right.
You just don't know it. You just don't know it. There are a lot of people out there.
Or you probably know it and you just don't care.
Well, yeah, I don't know that. I don't know about that part, but yeah, okay. Some people probably roll out like that. At the same time, you know, can you be friends? There's another question that you ask. Can you be friends with somebody who has a difference of opinion? And the answer is obviously yes, right? I mean, you have differences of opinion on tons of things. So you have to recognize that not everybody's going to agree with you. And I think in the spectrum of this most recent election, we as African Americans assume that if somebody voted for Donald Trump, then they're a racist. I don't think that that's necessarily true. Many racists voted for Donald Trump, but doesn't mean that everyone who voted for Donald Trump is a racist. So, you know, lots of people are not going to vote for Hillary or they wouldn't not voting for Barack. That doesn't necessarily make them racist. That means that they just disagree with Hillary or Barack in many instances. There are, however, tons of people out there who are racist and are voting for Donald Trump or whoever the case may be. And I mean, that's just the reality of it. So can you be friends with a racist? You probably already are friends with a racist. Can you be friends with somebody who disagrees with you? Absolutely. Should you be friends with people who disagree with you? You absolutely should be friends with people who disagree with you. but you can't. You should not knowingly go into a relationship with someone who hates you, because racism is about hate. You shouldn't go into a relationship with someone who hates you and you go in thinking like, oh, this is going to be great. And they thinking like, oh, I'm going to kill you, I'm coming for your neck.
Well, again, I don't want this to be the Lamont country club living against the suburbanite. But again, Maynard, you're wrong. You're totally incorrect. I don't think you can be friends with a racist. I do think that there are different levels of race and racism. It's just like when you go to McDonald's or Wendy's. You can either get a small, medium, or a large. And I think that there's some races that are like extra large that are really extremist in their views. And no, you can be friends with them. But, you were right that there are some people who probably have maybe a small amount of racism that's in them. I saw the Trevor Noah interview as well, and I think, he had a lot of good points. And one of the points that I remember distinctly was that, one of the foundations of racism is just really a misunderstanding. And once you start to spend time with an individual or a certain race of people, and you understand that some of those racist views are not true, yeah, but that's that small. But then you got some super extra large, biggie size fucking racists out here that I just don't think that they're open and receptive to being, anything other than what it is that they are. So you can't be friends with those kind of cats. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not really buying into that, because we have to determine, are they a biggie size racist? Are they a medium size? Or they're just a small, have a little pinch of racism that's in their blood that can kind of be converted.
So why don't you define? Wait.
Spud, did you hear me say that you should be friends with the racist? I think I said you probably already are. You just don't know it. Is that what I was saying, Spud?
That's not what I heard. I heard something totally different.
What did you hear, Spud?
I heard you say that you probably already are friends with the racists and you just don't know it.
I didn't hear that.
Well, damn, Lamont, are your headphones working? I know you got that dial up over there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Can we get him some new? Who do we need to talk to in purchasing to get Lamont some Sony?
CBS.
Plug. But I didn't hear that. But again, I have to stand on. We have to determine what kind of racism that we have, because in my opinion, and I don't know because I don't know her personally, but I think Tomi Lahren is kind of like a medium to small racist. I think she does a lot of stuff that she does and says what she does for the shock value of it. I don't know if she's as an extreme racist as probably some of the people that that have a history of, I don't know.
So how do we define, define, what I'm saying, small, medium, and large racist, right? And so a medium racist is, oh, yeah, I got a couple of black friends. And a small racist is, oh, yeah, I got a white friend, or, some of my best friends are white. How do we define what a small, medium, and large racist really is? I mean, I think that, it probably is clear that the KKK is probably the most extreme race. They're probably, mega-sized when it comes to that. How do you define the small, medium, and large racist, Lamont?
I think Lamont's wrong. Hold on, stop. I don't even ask Lamont nothing else because he's foolish. That's crazy. It's like being racism is not. It's like pregnancy. You pregnant or you not. If you're a racist, you're a racist. There is no small, medium. It's binary. It's on or it's off. So if you don't like black people, you can be like, I don't like you. But if you go around back, you can come into the bathroom. No, that's racist.
You finished, man?
There is no in between. You are or you're not.
That's not necessarily true. I'll say again before I was rudely interrupted, is that you have some people who, again, as I said, they're racist to the point because they don't know. They don't, or they have only have these philosophies and ideologies because it's what they've been taught. For example, I was always taught that, that Range Rovers were the best cars out there on the street. But I found out that wasn't the case. But I had to go through certain experiences. Yeah. We had to switch to the BMW. You know what I'm saying? But I had to understand you had to go through that experience. Just like I also tell this other story about one of my neighbors, who is a Jewish person, very cool, mad cool. Has nothing to do with the racism piece. But one Saturday, I saw him and his family walking. And I had to pull over. It's like, yo, like, Dan, what's going on? Where's your car? I know he has like 2-3 nice cars. You good? You need a ride? And he's like, no, Lamont, it's Saturday. We were walking to Temple. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I know when I see my man walking on Saturday, he's just walking to Temple. You know, that again, that has nothing to do with racism, but what it had to do is that I had to learn and understand that him and his Jewish beliefs, you know, that's how they roll on Saturdays.
Do you know the difference between racism and just like I just didn't know that you walked the temple?
Okay,
racism is I see that you're black. I see that you're black, and I dislike you exclusively because you're black, or exclusively because you're white, or exclusively because you're Mexican, or exclusively because you're Asian. That's about race. But this has nothing to do with. I just didn't understand some shit.
Do I need to rewind the tape? I said it has nothing to do with racism, but what I said was it has something to do with understanding someone and someone else's culture. So when certain people who have a small amount of racism, not in that situation, once they learn and understand about others and their culture and their heritage, or just how they are as an individual, then some of that, what we might consider to be racism, can kind of be, I don't know if it can be erased, but it can be diminished to a certain point where there's some clarity there. That's all I'm saying. But
okay.
I think certain people.
You're wrong. It's okay. Fine. But just discount that. Let's move forward, man.
Okay.
This guy's
sure?
I mean, you sound like, Lamont. I mean, you need to bring it down a little bit. You're beating on the table over there. I mean, you all right in that piece?
I mean, you know what? I need to find my blood pressure medicine, because again, here we have Maynard and this whole suburban outlook that's just, it's fucking wrong. I mean, he really needs to come on the other side of 8 Mile, on what we call the 482 zip code side of the city, at least in Detroit, so to speak. Now, again, Maynard's down, where he is where you at again this week, Maynard? Are you in, what suburban area are you in this week?
Continue.
Exactly.
Okay, continue. 745, 750 series BMW. Just continue.
Exactly.
Just continue.
So, let's kind of wrap it up with, with Charlemagne the God. I mean, everybody went ham on a lot of people went ham on him and just called him out of his name, called him a Sambo and so forth and so on. And so, his defense was, look, man, we got to start to extend the olive branch, and, we got to start to, have these conversations with, the other side, so that way we can be able to learn each other. So, Lamont, I mean, is Charlemagne the God a sellout? Is he trying to, make America white again? I mean, is he trying to, become mainstream America by reaching out to Tomi Lahren and having a conversation with her?
Well, honestly, I think it's very simple. What Charlemagne is doing is he's just trying to expand his brand. He's thinking about what's going to come after the Breakfast Club, which I have no problem with that guy doing that, because at the end of the day, DJ Envy, we love you. You know what I'm saying? Angela Yee, we love you too. But the brand of the Breakfast Club is Charlemagne the God. So again,
really? That's a whole other debate we can have.
Absolutely, because he is what I've heard some people call the minstrel of the show. And historically, minstrels are the one that have always, been celebrated to a degree. I don't agree with that, with the brother being a minstrel. I think that he's very calculated. I think he's very calm, cool. I also think, that what he's doing makes a lot of sense. And in the long term, he's creating alliances, at different production companies, different TV networks, and he's just expanding his brand. So, I'm not mad at the brother. Get that money, feed your family, make sure your kids go to college, and the world will be better.
The thing about it is this, though. When you go in there with the Tomi Lahren, this chick has practiced at her craft of debate and discourse. She's practiced at that. She knows what she's going to say, and she knows how she's going to behave and how she's going to act. And she knew how she was going to play him. And there's an old school rule when, from a distance, when two people are talking, it's hard to tell which one is the fool. And, they both can look like a fool. So if she's a foolish person and he's talking to her, he becomes a fool by association. So I don't think that we should necessarily engage with people like Tomi Lahren, only because she is an extreme far right kind of person, and that's like she's looking for an opportunity to exploit. That's A. B, if Charlemagne is like, yo, I'm thinking about my brand and where I'm going, that's great. Except that you're doing that to the detriment of our culture. You trying to get a check by essentially inviting the enemy into the house. Sorry, it's a bad look. Sorry.
So you call him a sellout, basically?
I didn't say he's selling out, but Lamont said he's selling out because Lamont said he's trying to get a check.
Here we go.
Did you not say that he's trying to get a check? You said he's trying to get a check. That's selling out.
Yo, my man, check this out. You ready? Let me take a sip, Playboy. All I'm saying is that he's expanding his fucking brand. What are you talking about? He's letting people come. He's letting people come in the house. What house?
No,
what are we doing in the house?
We don't need
are we
Tomi
smoking
Lahren.
weed in the house? Are we doing crack in the house?
Nobody's talking about anything about smoking crack and weed. Look, we got our culture over on this side, and
who is we? What are you talking about?
We have our culture on this side, and we definitely need.
Who is we? Who the fuck is we? Who is we?
We have our culture on this side. We definitely need to engage with people who have different viewpoints. But Tomi Lahren is an extremist. She is on that Mike Beck program, or is not Mike Beck. What's his name? Glenn Beck. She's on that Glenn Beck program, and Glenn Beck is the dude that said that Barack Obama has a deep-seated hatred of white people. Well, that's not true. So you can't get down with somebody like that.
Even if I lower my voice, you'll listen. Who is we? You keep saying our culture. Who is we?
We three black guys, right?
Yeah, so you talking about black people?
I'm talking about black people.
Okay, Maynard
is a black person too, right?
Do you not understand that our culture belongs to the world? Man, let me tell you something. Last week, I was in a foreign country. We don't even have to talk about what country it is, right?
There you go. And I'm the suburban Negro, right? I'm the suburban Negro. This nigga right here was in a foreign country. Hold on, Spud. He taped with us one night, and then he was in a foreign country, and he back. That's balling. That's balling. If I get to a foreign country, I got to stay a couple extra days because I can't afford to come back like 2 weeks later.
Right. So, Maynard, let me tell you something. I'm gonna try to talk in my soft voice, and hopefully you can hear me.
Okay.
I'm sitting by the pool. I'm sipping a pina colada, whatever the hell I was sipping on. I'm smoking a cigar. I'm having a great time with some of my buddies who are celebrating a wonderful occasion. And the DJ, he decided to put on this record. And all I could say was to myself, we're in a foreign country, and I cannot get away from Juju on the beat, right? Little kick song, right? So I'm sitting there like, Jesus Christ. So all of these people who don't know a fucking lick of English are up there jujuing on the beat, right? They're in the pool, they on top of the diving boards, they on the floaties, and all I heard was this person who didn't speak English, who obviously, because I didn't speak the language, whatever she was speaking, but she was telling the DJ, play that again, run it back, double time, whatever the hell she was saying. And for about 7 to 10 minutes, everybody was out there by the pool in the water, jujuing on the beat. And I said to myself, we can't have nothing. So it's, they're all in the house. They got windows, they got cameras in the house. So what we think is ours, not just from an entertainment space, but in so many different genres, Playboy, it ain't ours anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I think we got to get off that shit about we got to keep what we got to keep in the house because everybody wants to be in our house. So we just got to open the doors and the windows and just let the flies come in, Playboy. That's all we got to do. And we'll be okay.
All right, let's leave it right there, man. Let's keep it moving. Lamont, your man Shia Leboeuf went on Sway in the morning, and he kicked the freestyle. So Shia Leboeuf is after everybody. He feels like he's the next great white rapper. Man, he went in on Lil Yachty, Drake, Soulja Boy, called him a kumquat, which I don't even know what that is, and I'm still trying to get the definition of what the hell a kumquat is. So, Lamont, did Sway create a monster? Does, Shia Leboeuf, do we need to, put some respect on his name, or does he need to stay in his lane as an actor?
Well, I think Mr. Leboeuf, God bless you. God bless Sway for, as I always say, it's about clicks. It's about people talking about it. But we know it's not real because as I was checking out my main man, J. Cole's new Joints with an S, he didn't put J. Cole in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, if it's about Soulja Boy, we kind of need to get him out the way anyway. So if it's a couple of those other rappers. I mean, Soulja Boy's kind of whack to me, man. I'm looking at Soulja Boy on World Star, and you know, if you down with Soulja, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Collie Park, that's my man from back in the day. You know, I don't know how the relationship is now, but my man's all on Instagram. He's on World Star. He's pointing guns at the camera. He's sipping that cough syrup and the Jolly Ranchers and the 7-Up. And I'm like, yo, Playboy, come on, man. Like, you know, we went from, you know, where we were to where we are now. It's not a good look. So you know what, Soulja? We might need to send you to Betty Ford or something or do something with you, brother. But, you know, I don't remember the last record my man put out. So I don't know what the brother got going on in his world, but he's looking really reckless right now. So if Shia Leboeuf is the one that can take him out, or go, you can have him. You know what I'm saying? A couple other of the young brothers, they can have him too. Yep, I'm going to take it. Kodak Black, you can put him in that bag. You can get him up out of here. Lil Yachty. I'm still a little on the fence about this drum guy. But if Shia Leboeuf is the one that's going to knock them all out, come on with it. I'll buy a CD so we can make this stuff out the way, because you know, I know this isn't a topic, but I'm waiting on J. Cole. Let's get some of this real music out here. You know what I'm saying? So we can get some of this bullshit out the way.
Shia LaBeouf, yo, I you know, he had a little freestyle. If it was even a freestyle, I don't know if he was, you know, something obviously he probably wrote. That's cool. And then he went in, like you said, on Drake, et cetera, et cetera. I have the same problem that Lamont has. Soulja Boy, shut the fuck up. Soulja Boy, really? You gonna ban somebody from Atlanta? Motherfucker, shut up. You can't ban motherfuckers from your own crib. Shut the fuck up. Soulja Boy.
Man, he on Instagram right now with them guns.
Fuck
right now,
Soulja Boy and his gun. Fuck Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy should suck a cactus. He should eat a fucking eggplant with ivory soap on the top.
Yo, did you said what? You said he should do what with a cactus?
He should suck a cactus. He should eat a fucking eggplant with ivory soap dripping out the side, so it looks like he's. Well, never mind.
I'm gonna do just like Donald Trump. I'm going to go and trademark that in the morning to make sure that nobody else could use that. So we got it on tape. I'm now the new owner of Go Suck a Cactus.
3blackguys.com.
That's our
suck
t-shirts.
a cactus, baby. Suck a cactus. suck cacti.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Right,
and by the way,
man. Let's get a break in real quick, man. And when we come back, we got to talk about, you know, black people. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Stay right there. You're listening to Three Black Guys with a Mic. The big news about Wendy's 4 for $4 meal just got even bigger. See how a choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT just changed the value game all over again. Meal includes a choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT, plus 4-piece nugget, small fries, and a drink. It's all fresh, never frozen, at a participating Wendy's for a limited time. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Now, if you're a cigar smoker like us, we know you like nothing but the finest cigars, nothing but fresh cigars, not none of those stale cigars that be flaking all over the place and, you know, you can't even smoke it and you coughing all over the place because it's so old and stale. Well, you don't get that with our friends at All Exquisite Reserve Cigars. They got handmade cigars with the finest tobacco from the Dominican Republic with rich taste for mild, medium, and full-body cigars. They got Connecticut wrappers, sun-grown, Maduros, Sumatras, and more. So make sure you check them out and get yourself a box today at exquisitereserve.com. Now, not every cigar is created equal. That's why they do nothing but the best cigars, and that's the reason why we putting our name on them. Exquisite Reserve's goal is to fashion a vintage experience blended with the excellence and consistency for cigar enthusiasts like yourself around the world, one light at a time. So don't be sitting around waiting and going and paying them high prices at the cigar shop. Go to Exquisite Reserve right now, grab yourself a box, or follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Exquisite Reserve, or if you're on Twitter, hit them up at Exquisite Reserve without the E. It's Exquisite Reserve. Go get yourself a box of fresh cigars for the holidays. Exquisite Reserve is more than just cigars. It's a lifestyle. And now back to the show. Welcome back to episode 3 of Three Black Guys with a Mic. You know, so I don't know if you guys got the opportunity to watch Van Jones' special, The Messy Truth. I thought it was really good. You know, he had Rick Santorum on. He had Ava Navarro on. He had Mike Moore on. And it was a really good, you know, special about, you know, the messy truth and about, you know, how basically how Donald Trump, got elected and so forth and so on. So he was having a conversation with a doctor, and the doctor was talking about a law and order, and black people, and her kids, and they had a difference of opinion when it came to, law and order. And, he saw it one way and Van Jones saw it another way. But he did make a comment that I thought was very interesting, which was, he said, when it comes to law and order, it's kind of tricky because, you guys are talking about police, violence, but I mean, the majority of the violence that's going on in Philadelphia, which is your hometown, Maynard, is black on black crime. And so I had a conversation with some people the other day, and it's over 700 murders in the city of Chicago, all black on black crime. So I got to ask this I got to just, ask you guys, Lamont, Amanda, let's start with you. Is the biggest problem with black people? Are we giving, other races, reasons to stereotype us and judge us and treat us the way that, that they feel like they can get away with?
Well, I feel like, we have put ourselves in the position, and it's, we're not long for this. This is not something that goes back forever. This is something, this level of crime, this intensity, whatever it is, this is not, I feel like during the Martin Luther King years, during the Malcolm X years, that there was a unity in the black community that somehow got lost. And I don't know why, but yes, there is a problem and we have to address it. And we can't, the thing is, they're not coming for us. They're not, if you think black people, God bless you, I love all y'all, some of y'all. I love most of y'all. There's a handful.
You're saying that like you're not black. You're not saying that like you're not black.
No, what I'm saying is I'm black.
I got it. That's the suburban black part. Okay, I got it. That's the suburban black part. I got it.
Check out the blog, suburbanblack.com. So, the thing is, if we think, a lot of black folks are under the impression that somebody's going to come help, that we're going to get services, that, finally it's going to be fair. One day it's going to be fair. I even got a friend who's still talking about we're going to get reparations. I'm telling you, they're not checking for us like that. They're the government or white people or Republicans or whoever you want to blame, the boogeyman, the man with the plan, whoever you want to blame. They're just interested in helping us. We have to help ourselves. They're not checking for us. So, if you have the examples. They weren't checking for us. I didn't like the way Kanye handled it when it was Hurricane Katrina, but let's be real. They left us. I don't like how, they defund programs, or they talking about getting rid of stuff that really is there to help people who are less fortunate, not just African Americans, but all kinds of people who need help. Yo, if you're not rich and wealthy, or if you don't have something that someone else wants, they're not coming to help you. So you gotta stop and you got to do it yourself. And it's not because I'm thinking that you're unaccountable. It's just that no one else is going to do it at this point. So it's on us.
So what do we kind of touched on this before, Maynard, and to take Spud's question a little bit further out before I bring it back in. And I don't want you to answer this. I just want you to think about this. What are we supposed to do? And when I say we, I mean we as a collective. I do think that you're right, that there are certain segments or sectors of us as black people, African Americans, know how to do. But then there are others who are just part of a workforce, and they're basically looking for work. That's how they survived, historically, because maybe they don't have the brain space or whatever it may be, or the tenacity or to get up and go to do for us. So what do you do about those people? Because you do have to have a certain segment of laborers. Again, don't answer that question. Just think about that. So let's take it over to Spud and what he said. I think at the end of the day, there are a lot of things that unfortunately have been used as bait for us. We could talk about drugs, we could talk about guns, because I'm still trying to understand, you can go into any urban area, And I used to have a favorite firearm of mine that I could legally go to the store and buy, and it was $120. Now I found out this same firearm, if you go buy it legally, is freaking $400 or $500. But you can still go on the street and get it for $50. So I'm confused, like, how does that work and where does that come from? And we can go to the intricacies of stealing and firearms coming from up north and down south. But we can talk about the same thing with drugs. Why is it that there's certain things that are so easily, readily available in our communities in order to basically poison our community? It's no different than Maynard. As you told me so many years ago, and I never thought about this, I had been trained as a person who lived and grew up in the city of Detroit to basically to be fed like a prisoner, which is I would go to a Coney Island and buy my chili cheese fries or my cheeseburger deluxe at 8 to 10 years old, and I was always served my food through bulletproof glass. You remember we had that talk,
ain't suburban black. That ain't suburban black right there.
No, but it's not that. That's first of all, and we have to value who we are and what we bring to the table. And I might not have this or I might not have that, but if I have $4.85 to buy chili cheese fries or whatever they might cost, motherfucker, if I'm gonna give you my money, you got to give me enough respect that you're gonna serve me like I'm a damn human.
Yeah,
right?
But Maynard, but you're all over the place. You all let's stay.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying and what we have to do is we have to begin to respect that. And when we worked together in the past in Detroit, Spud, there was a time when I was going into high schools and speaking with students and took on some mentees. I mentored some kids, and I realized I had to talk to a mother. It was like, you know what, you want me to help you, and I want to help you. I want to be a part of your son's life. But when I show up, if you ask for my advice or my help, at least listen. If you're not going to listen, then what the fuck am I here doing? Right. And so I'm trying to explain to her, like, your son is 15 and you don't have a curfew for him. Your son comes home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and you're not concerned where he is. And, I have a kid and she's the love of my life. Now she's 7 years old, so she shouldn't be out of my sight at all. But I know my mother is losing her mind that she didn't see me when I was 16 or 17 years old. And it was prom night. She was like, man, you got to be here at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's what we agreed on. You cannot let your kids just be out there. You have to do certain things. We got to learn how to speak English. We got to not behave. If I see another black man with a cell phone yelling World Star while two black women who are the mothers of children of our community beat the shit out of each other, yanking fucking hair weaves off of each other over some bullshit, and then black men are standing around laughing and giggling, that shit is disgusting. We've got to do better. Disagree with me on that.
No, I mean you get a W for that.
I think that was a mic drop. I think that was a mic drop right there.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. You just dropped the mic.
That was a mic drop.
Yep. You got the W, Maynard.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. You dropped the mic on that one. I
all damn day.
All right, let me ask you this question. I been looking online and there's new headlines about Kim Kardashian is rumored to divorce Kanye West, and I saw Cynthia Bailey from the Real Housewives of Atlanta on Steve Harvey today talking about she was getting a divorce, and Donald Trump's got 3 wives, and shit, Steve Harvey got 3 wives, and the way I was looked at it, when it comes to the marriage situation is that it's till death do you part. But there's a lot of, divorce going on out there. You look at Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and they going through that stuff and so forth and so on. So we all are married men and, we all have been to our wives for a pretty good, amount of time. I got to ask, with the newer generation and shit, not even just with the newer generation, with everybody, are the marriage vows some bullshit, Lamont? I mean, does it really matter anymore to really stick it out? Are you really marrying the one? Or do you got to be committed to the commitment? Or when shit actually gets tough, it's okay for you to be like, you know what? You was cool for a minute and I liked you for a while and I actually loved you for a minute, but it's time for me to go my separate way. Or when you're putting in mileage and, you know, you're putting in years on the marriage, are you supposed to stick it out? Or are you supposed to just say, you know what? We got irreconcilable differences and I'm out.
Well, first, let me put this disclaimer out there. Baby, I love you. I wouldn't want to be married to anybody else but you, baby. And we'll be together forever. And you know who you are, my sweet love. So now that we got that shit out the way.
There are 12 women out there just saying, oh, he's so
No. It's only one woman, brother. Only one sister that's on the marriage certificate. But here's what I'll say, man. I think, you know, it's a lot about what people are being taught and what they've seen. Kind of like what we talked about earlier is that, you know, for me, you know, I did see my parents and my grandparents, my grandfather just passed away earlier last year. And he was married to my grandmother for, I think, 64 years. You know what I mean? And that's all I know. You know, same thing with my wife.
Hats off. You got to clap that up.
You got to clap that up.
Yeah, no doubt. And even my wife, who my mother-in-law just passed, you know, just recently, you know, she was married to her husband for over 50 years. You feel what I'm saying? My mom and dad, they were together they're not together now, but I think they did about 30, 35 years. You know what I'm saying? So when you grow up and you see that kind of, you know, commitment, you kind of mimic that. You know what I mean? You do what it is that you see and what you're taught. I do understand that certain things happen, but, you know, when you're in an environment today where grandma is 36, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, one of my good friends, you know, his wife is a grandmother and she's 36. So it's like, you know, when they got multiple things cooking over here and this marriage over here and that marriage over there. And, you know, and the probability is that some of those kids are going to emulate what it is that they see. So I think to answer your question, yeah, you're right. People just come up with it and say, you know what, this is not as cool as I thought it would be. You know what, I can sign this paper, give you a check, and I can go out and knock some more chicks down. And you know what, that it is what it is. So, you know, I just think it's a total different generation of the way that they look at what a vow is, not just marriage, but what, you know, a vow on a whole other different level as well, because there are different kind of vows that are out there. You know, for example, you know, like somebody like Maynard vowed to never drink, you know, anything other than Johnny Walker Blue. That's just what he does. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid if he would do fucking anything else other than that. You know what I mean? And he upholds to that vow. Am I right, Maynard?
Right. God forbid he would be out here drinking wild turkey.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey. When y'all come to the crib, y'all can absolutely welcome to have as much wild turkey as y'all can. I got it for you. No problem.
You don't drink it, right?
No, I drink it. I mean, it's a maintenance drink. That's the rail drink in the house.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is you're just like the kid. Well, I should say just like the kids, but similar to, you know, there's certain things they just do for maintenance. And you know what? I could pay Laura a few grand, give her a check. I'm out. On to the next.
I feel like really, you know, a lot of people are marrying for the wrong reasons, obviously. I think I had some very good friends. I love them both dearly. I was in their wedding. And in fact, I introduced them and they wound up getting married and they divorced. And, you know, I remember asking like, well, what is the problem? Why do you feel like you don't want to be with her any longer? And his answer was, you know, when I saw us together, I saw us together on paper and it really looked good on paper. Like she had a job and I had a job and we were, you know, of a certain age. We have a certain, you know, educational, blah, 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 and financial attainment. And we were going to be this power couple. And I was like, he said all these things. He described all this shit, but he didn't say, I was in love with her. He didn't say I felt like I was going to be out of breath if she wasn't in my presence. And you know that's a problem. He really should have given it some thought. And she did feel that way. She did feel like he is the my beginning and my ending. She was hurt desperately when they divorced. Sometimes people can't get along, and that doesn't mean. And that's one scenario, but another scenario is like my parents. At some point, they couldn't be friends anymore, and so it had to come to an end. And it's always for different reasons. Some people can't be friends anymore being married, but now that my parents have been divorced for several years, they're the best of friends. And my mother is in fact friends with my stepmother. They can speak, they can be in the same room. It's cordial. You think that you met a soulmate, but there's like 7-8 billion people. You think just in Detroit you met the one? There's another 8 billion people out there. You ain't been to China.
So you're advocating. If I can't say my wife, if somebody else's wife, if she farts in her sleep, if she doesn't brush her teeth before she goes to bed, and you're like, you know what, this isn't the one. There's 7 billion other people. Let me go try somebody else. Is that what you're advocating, Maynard?
No, what I'm saying is this. First of all, and I've met people who have said, I can't stand my husband because he throws his socks in the floor. And I'm asking her, like, okay, you got a man who brings his check home, who loves you, who cares about you, who brings his dick home too. He ain't out here running around. And your problem is his socks are in the floor. You need to get a life. That's on some bullshit. The other thing is these women out here and men as well who think that, they're going to have a wedding and it's going to be about, they had a royalty wedding and she's the princess and he's the king and we're going to, go off and they got the horse. You lying to yourself. That damn Disney shit, that shit ain't you. Because princess, guess what? You come home from that damn honeymoon, you got to wash some dishes. Princesses don't be washing dishes. You're gonna have to clean some damn toilets. You got to do the shit that is what it is to be, just to live. And so what I'm saying is this: if two people can't get along, like they don't like each other any longer, and the love is lost, they got to separate because that can end up in somebody hurting somebody.
But isn't that ebb and flow though? I mean, don't you have like good years and don't you have bad years? I mean, but are you supposed to divorce? I mean,
no,
we all know that, what I'm saying, in marriage, you're
going
to have some years where you like, I hate this motherfucker. And then you're going to have some years where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that, what I'm saying, that this person is with me and, till death do us part. But in the bad years, when you're not getting along with each other and you don't like each other and so forth and so on, and it's hard time, is that the reason why you're supposed to divorce? I mean, I'm looking at Kim Kardashian right now, and my man, Kanye West is out here going through whatever it is that he's going, through, and she feels like he's a madman, and now she's, rumored to say, hey, look, it's time for me to take my kids and bounce. Well, shit, are you down for me for sickness and health? Did you take the vows that we said under God, and are we taking those until death do us part, or is that just some bullshit? Do we just say it so we look good?
Well, I mean, the question that you have to have for Kanye in reference to Kim saying that she might be bouncing is, my dude, she married old boy Chris Humphries on TV for a show. And then she came to you next and you thought this was really supposed to be something. You got to check the person that comes to the table and see what they are, who they are before they show up to be next to you. So we know that she had brought to the table a altered concept of what marriage is. So I don't fault her for being, I don't fault her for being who she is. She's superficial. That's her thing. She has made she sucked Ray J's dick on tape. I seen it.
Oh my God. You were watching pornography, Maynard?
Hey man. Hey, Ray J, I don't like Ray J, but hats off to that brother because he tore that shit. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious.
On that note, let's get a break in. When we come back, man, we're going to talk about the Grammys. We got a whole lot of other shit we got to talk about, man. You're listening to Three Black Guys with a Mic. Now, we're all cigar smokers, all three of us. We love to smoke cigars, and we're so happy and so thankful for our new sponsors, All Exquisite Reserve Cigars. All Exquisite Reserve Cigars are handmade with the finest tobaccos from the Dominican Republic with rich taste for mild, medium, and full-body cigars in Connecticut, Sumatra, sun-grown, Maduro, and more. Not every cigar is created equal. Exquisite Reserve's goal is to fashion vintage experience, blended with the elegance and consistency for cigar enthusiasts around the world. One light at a time. Get you a box right now at exquisitereserve.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Exquisite Reserve or on Twitter at Exquisite Reserve without the E. Exquisite Reserve, more than cigars. It's a lifestyle, dog. Now, we all know that Maynard loves bacon, and more bacon. So if you like bacon just like Maynard loves bacon, then you need to head over to Wendy's right now as we speak and get yourself a Wendy's 4 for $4 because it just got even bigger. See how a choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT just changed the value game all over again. Get yourself a 4 for $4 from Wendy's. Meal includes choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger, crispy chicken BLT, 4-piece nugget, small fries, and a drink. It's all fresh, never frozen like those other places. Stop putting that fake meat in your body, man. Head over to Wendy's and get yourself a 4 for $4 participating Wendy's for a limited time. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. And now back to the show. All right, welcome back. Three Black Guys with a Mic. Lamont Hayes, Maynard Scales, your man Spud. We are here holding it down for episode number 3. We truly appreciate you guys for, tuning in and listening all this way. I got to ask this question. This wasn't on our notes, but we got to talk about, and Maynard, this one is for you. You can lead off on this one about the Democratic Party and building a bench. Keith Ellison is, he's trying to go for, the chairman of the Democratic Party. And, it is said that we don't got no bench. There's nobody out there. It's like boxing right now, right? There's nobody out there who can get the pay-per-view numbers like Floyd Mayweather can. So what is it going to take for the Democratic Party to build a bench? And can Keith Ellison be the savior for the Democratic Party? Maynard.
Yeah, so let me answer the first question. Let me answer the second question first. Keith Ellison can be, I don't necessarily want to say the savior, but he can be the lightning rod that's going to get stuff started. But building a bench means that, first of all, we have to start at the local level. We have to start, getting city council persons elected and mayors elected and sheriffs elected, et cetera, et cetera. And then these people can't try to make a career of, I'm going to be the mayor for 24 years and blah, blah. They gotta get out of the way. They got to do 2 terms and they got to be ready to move up to delegate. And then from delegate, they got to try to get the governor. And from governor, then they can try to get the senator, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you build a bench.
That's a long-ass process. That's a long-ass process.
No, but hold on. But that's not, that process is not getting that one person who Spud gets elected today as councilman. It's not a process of getting you to be president or you to be the justice of the chief justice. The process is to get you in place and then you groom the next person behind you. So in 8 years, you have set the table for, Earl, and then Earl can, et cetera, et cetera. And then what happens is now we have several people. You ain't going to build a bench in 4 years. It's not going to happen, right? The election cycle just does not allow for that. So
how do we prepare for 2020 then? Or can we prepare for 2020, or is this going to be an 8-year Donald Trump or Republican presidency?
No, I'm not. I don't think it necessarily has to be an 8-year Donald Trump reign. I think what we have to do is we have to start looking at the people who are credible and are qualified and start trying to make certain that they're getting the exposure necessary to be in line. Joe Biden. Oh, I love Joe Biden, but damn, Joe, you broke my heart. You should have ran now, not 2020. It's not going to work there for you there, homeboy. He'll be the oldest person. So we need young blood. And that's also part of the problem. If we continue to just go to the old blood, we'll never get the bench. It's the reason why the bench can't develop is that people go to the Senate or they go to Congress and they stay forever and no one ever gets the experience or the exposure behind them. How long has Conyers been in office?
Oh my gosh, man. Before
How long
I was born.
So, where is the development? Where's the development of people behind the Conyers that are going to be able to elevate to that level? That's what we need to do to build a bench.
That's my side, because here's where I'm confused. So Maynard, didn't you just say that with Keith Ellison, it was about being local to maybe regional, then to a national space?
Yeah, I think we have to set the table locally. Yes.
Okay, so let's take, Keith, for example, which you do know where he's from and where he got part of his college education, correct?
I mean, I know he's from Detroit and I know he's in Minnesota. Yes.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, he's a Wayne State alum, and I do remember that. But if I'm not mistaken, he's in a congressional seat as of now, correct?
That's correct.
So isn't he doing exactly what it is that you're proposing of going from that congressional space to maybe the head of the DNC to maybe some sort of other public office in the future? Isn't he doing what it is that you, again, are suggesting?
Lamont, we're talking about a bench. We ain't talking about one person, man. We talking about you got to have a fleet. You got to have a when the
Let him finish, Maynard. Let him finish. He might got a point, but he might got a point. He might got a point. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Right. All right. And that's what I was going to say. In building a bench, whether it's a team or the DNC, whether it's a football, baseball, whatever, that bench, it takes time. It has to be developed. It's not something that's going to be done in 4 years or even 8 years. So I think what I'm saying, and God bless you, Spud, for reffing it properly, is that some of these things are happening as we speak, but the shit's not going to be ready by the time Donald's is up in 4 years.
I think I said exactly that. Did I say exactly? Yo, get this cat some Sony headphones, man. you got to put them beats down. What are you doing over there?
Wait. Is Sony owned by CBS?
No,
Sony
it's not.
CBS?
No.
We can't get him no headphones then.
Okay. Oh, we got to get you some beats by Dre. Or I mean, who is it that we can get you some checks?
We might need to get him some.
We'll work
we might
on
need
that.
to get him some. We might need to get him some of them Nick Cannon headphones.
Yo, Nick, we need you, baby. We need you, Nick.
No, Nick ass ain't vote. Nick, stay back, motherfucker. Drumline on that.
Man, why you ain't no Nick Cannon, man? Nick Cannon got Mariah Carey as a wife, man. Chill out with that.
Exactly. At a young age, too, Playboy.
Right.
So
anyway, go ahead, Lamont.
So only thing I'm saying is that what Maynard is trying to achieve is not an instant process. As we talked about earlier about marriage, things of that nature, it takes time. It's going to be something that has to be developed. So I think some of it's being done as we speak. I don't know a lot of the congressional persons off the top of my head, but I'm thinking of a couple. The young brother down in Florida, I think his name is Meeks. Is that his name, Maynard?
I'll have to look.
Yeah, I got to read. Maybe we should talk about that in the next podcast. And bring that back up, too, and highlight some of those young guns that we have out there. I'm even thinking about, even the young lady that's the mayor of Baltimore. So maybe her being the mayor, maybe it's time for her over the next few years. I like her, bro. I like her.
I like her, too.
I like her energy. She's a G. We need that.
She was a G. She held it down, doing that Baltimore drama, man. I mean,
exactly.
You got to get that girl some props, man. You got to get that mayor some props, man. She held her own, Maynard. But we want to hear what you have to say. But she held her own. Yeah.
So go ahead, Maynard. Go ahead and bash my girl. Go ahead.
Right. Go ahead and bash the inner city black people, which is suburban black. Views.
Exactly.
Now, I think, we also got to recognize that it is a public relations game out here, homies. It is a public relations game. And, she, unfortunately, she took some hits. I'm not saying that she's a bad person. I'm saying she took some hits. And I'm also not saying that it's going to happen overnight. In fact, I said you have to get the Spud said that, man, what you just described, man, it seems like it's going to take a long time. Yes. But the challenge is this. If we're not advancing people and moving them up or moving them out, then we're not able to get the full breadth of what is available. When the Republicans hit the stage, even though they were crazy, they had 16, 17 people on that stage. We had 3. We had 2. We had 2 Democrats on the stage, Martin O'Malley and Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders was an independent until he was like, I think I'm going to run for president. We didn't have a bench. We didn't have, Cory Booker is probably, he was probably 3 or 4 years away from being I'm ready to make this next move because he had just jumped into that space. Keith, he's just kind of, making a name for himself in the past, 2 terms that he's been in. That's 4 years. We got Gavin Newsom out in San Francisco who's coming up. We got Julian Castro down in Houston. Those are the people that we as Democrats need to promote and talk about on a more regular basis. But unfortunately, what happened is the establishment, Debbie Wasserman Schultz and company said, yo, we with her. And as a result of being with Hillary, it told everybody else, it's not your time. Y'all might as well sit back and wait. and cats weren't getting their game face on. If you knew that if you played on the basketball team and you were the starting small forward and the coach said, "Hey, we got this other guy coming in and you guys are going to share time," and then you said, "Who is it?" and he says, "Well, it's Michael Jordan." Shit, you ain't getting in the game no more. You ain't sharing time.
I'm waving a white flag.
I just got to ask this, question, Lamont, to Maynard. So are you officially saying that you are now a Democrat, Maynard?
Yes. Yes. Is that what you're saying?
You did say that, we as Democrats, so I just want to kind of be clear. Are you now saying you are a Democrat, or are you just, you were just using that and you didn't realize that you actually said it?
Absolutely. What is it, Maynard?
Registered as a Democrat at age 18, 1990.
Now, why are you saying that so low? You want to speak up, Maynard?
Registered as a Democrat.
You want to speak up, Playboy? Talk to us.
I can name
Talk
every
to the
Democrat.
people, Maynard.
All Democrats I voted for. Can you, Lamont?
I'm sorry, say it again?
I name, we know that you country club with the good Dr. Ben and all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
we understand it.
Listen, I'm going to make an announcement. You ready, Maynard? You ready?
What's that?
Yes, I do know Dr. Ben Carson. Yes, I do.
That's your homie?
Yes, it is. He's not necessarily a homie, but I do know the brother. I'm very afraid for him and what he's going to do to HUD, but I do know him. So it's all out in the open. I'm going to do the 8 Mile Eminem on you. I'm going to talk bad about myself to where you can't talk about me anymore.
Nah, I'm still gonna find a way to jump in there and bash. So don't you think it's over? Don't you think it's over?
Call me Eminem, okay?
Oh my God, man.
Nah.
What is Dr. Ben gonna do, man? We all know that Dr. Ben is not even qualified to, even hold this job down as, HUD. Why would Donald Trump even ask him or even nominate him to be the head of HUD? Can he really relate to, what's going on with poor people trying to get houses? This man is a neurosurgeon. Can he really even relate, or is it just like, what is Donald Trump? Is this a slap in the face, Maynard, for him to actually take on this position, or is it a good look? Maybe it's a good look, and I don't even know. We all were wrong with Donald Trump. Is this a good look for Dr. Ben Carson to take on this position if he takes it on, or is it one of those things where it's kind of like, oh, you know what? You're my one black friend, Dr. Ben. I appreciate that. I got a job for it. Here you go.
Yo, this is a bad look all the way around, because this is the problem. I got a friend who's like, "Oh, Donald Trump sucks. I want Donald Trump to fail." I don't want Donald Trump to fail because people's lives are in the balance, and I don't want Ben Carson to fail because people's lives are in the balance. HUD really works where people and the realities of life exist. It is about affordable housing. It is about public assistance in housing. It is about Section 8 programs. It is about building communities and making them stronger so that we can have good schools and et cetera, et cetera. All that's is tied together. So if they fail, people who depend on HUD, who depend on cities growing, who depend on urban communities prospering, they all seek to lose as a result of a failure at the HUD level, at the presidential level. So I pray, I'm just going to, I don't know what is his book was something about gifted hands or some shit. I don't know. I just hope that he can just, oh, Jesus. Can we just have a moment of prayer for Ben Carson?
You want to lead us in prayer, Maynard?
Jesus, I just want to say to you, Jesus, who stays up high and looks down low and sees Ben Carson, Jesus, and HUD is not God.
But you ain't got to worry about that, though, man. You ain't got to worry about that. You already own your home. You live in a suburban, neighborhood. This ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yes, it does. It has a lot.
You lean towards the right. Tell me how this has something to do with those who are not. Go ahead.
People make the mistake of thinking HUD is about the projects in Section 8 exclusively. HUD is about urban development. All right. I still live in a city. It may be a suburban community inside of a city, but I still live here. And as a result, like right now, they just put a bike path on the block. That is a block grant that came up. Hey, and I'm listen, I'm happy for it, right? They took housing authority dollars and they decided that they're going to go around the corner and they say, hey, this community needs a bank with an ATM machine. I live in a community that doesn't have a bank with an ATM machine. So they decided
I find that hard to believe.
It is what it is. I mean, you know, my suburbanblack.com website is about all types of suburban blacks. I am a veteran suburban. I grew up in a black suburban community. But the thing about HUD is this: HUD helps people through the FHA program get mortgages. HUD helps people through the FHA program and first-time homebuyers program learn what it is to be. Learn what it's like to be a first-time home buyer, to help them understand their credit, to help them achieve. So it's not exclusively about Section 8 programs and the projects. There's a lot in it, and it's useful and helpful, and it's important. And if shit goes sideways, man, we're gonna have a lot of people out here not getting first-time homes, not understanding the ins and outs of credit, not being able to stay in Section 8 properties. Those Section 8 vouchers in a lot of cities are going away because the government won't fund or sponsor them.
Let's end on the Grammys. You know, Lamont, you are a music veteran and you've been in the music business for a long time and you worked with pretty much every artist in the music business. So the Grammys are out and people have always had a problem with the Grammys. I mean, Steve Stout took out an ad, you know, in I don't remember one of the I think it was a New Yorker magazine talking about, you know, when Arctic Acadia or whoever it was, you know, talking about, you know, the Grammys and how they suck and so forth and so on. At any rate, so the Grammy nominations came out. Travis Scott is mad because he wasn't nominated for a Grammy and he had a #1 album. I mean, I just got to get you know, let's start with you, Lamont. I mean, is the Grammy some bullshit or what? I mean, let's start with Travis Scott. I mean, should Travis Scott have been nominated or no? I only know one song from Travis Scott. So should he have been in the Grammys with Dram and all the rest of them and Drake and so forth and so on? Or should he just be sitting his little ass down somewhere waiting his damn turn?
Well, first you got to say one time for Travis Scott, because I know Travis, good people around him, but people have to understand that the Grammys are about a political system.
Name drop
Grammys,
number 5.
Yeah. You know, but the Grammys are about, you know, is your support system doing what it needs to be done in order to be nominated? Because unfortunately, the Grammys are not about, you know, who's popular on the street, you know, who's the most played, who's the X, Y, and Z. It's about the people who are Grammy members. So if you only have a couple hundred people who have no idea who the hell Travis Scott is, who doesn't, you know, even give a shit about who Travis Scott is or the one record that we do know about Travis Scott, and they're not going to vote for the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the members of the Grammys. And again, that is what it is. So it goes back to a lot of artists who aren't educated and understand how the system works for the Grammys. Now, is it some bullshit? Nah, not really, because I think this upcoming year, I think we had 57. No. We have 50-something years, you know, of there being a Grammy system. So it's something that's been around, it's something that's respected, it's something that people want to be a part of. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't get in the game if you don't know the fucking rules. So Travis and the crew, you just got to sit the homie down, do what needs to be done in order to be even nominated, because actually the nomination process, it ain't that hard. You know what I mean? It's just some things that you have to do. You know, it can be something as simplistic as making sure that his record is, you know, available for sale by a certain date. If you miss that date by 24 hours, you can't be nominated to the next year. You know what I mean? So it's a whole lot of other different small little intricacies that, you know, need to make sure they're in pocket in order for you to be put in that Grammy system. So again,
I guess the question is so, you know, so how in the world is Maya getting nominated? I mean, did she play the game or did she really have an album that motherfuckers really want to see or hear?
Well, again, it's just like I said before, you know, and I know we talked about in the next couple of podcasts, we're going to go into some of these things about, you know, about music and how some of these things need to be done. And if I'm, you know, because I am a Grammy member and it's quite.
Name drop number 6.
Name drop number 6.
You know what I mean? So, you know, in order to be nominated, there's just it's not even about it being a big criteria. It's a small criteria of things that you need to do. And Maya did it. Maya's been around for a minute, you know what I mean? And it's like, again, from being nominated to winning, it's still apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother feat because you have to petition, people who are actually voting members and things of that nature. But again, to be nominated, if you can fit into that criteria, bam, there you go. So again, it's simple as that.
Oh, so I got it. It's like the Electoral College.
Exactly.
Ah, I see. Exactly. I said. Okay,
so again, like I said before, this is not a popularity contest. This is not about who gets the most spins because, another shout out to my man, Anderson .Paak and doing what they do over there. It's like, yo, he ain't on the radio. A lot of people on the street.
Number seven.
Yeah, that's what we do. Since you plug in.
That wasn't a name drop right there. That wasn't a name drop right there. I like Anderson .Paak. I'll take that one back. He didn't do a name drop on that one.
Yeah. Is that your man, Lamont?
I can't front. That's my man. Who you
roll that's a name drop. That's a name drop. That's a name drop.
Yeah, on the low, because this is how it normally sounds. Anderson .Paak, who I'm just saying the cousin Joey keeps things in check, and y'all don't know who I know.
Listen, all I'm saying, those are some good brothers, and they've been out here grinding for a minute. But what I'm saying is that, he's not something or someone who's world renowned. He has a very big following and a growing fan base, but as somebody who's commercial, he's not there. But he's well-deserved when it comes to that Grammy nomination. And the crew just made sure that they did everything that they need to do in order for him and his album, Malibu, to be nominated, and him as an artist to be nominated. Because I think he got nominated 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure. But again, well-deserved from that brother.
So let me end on this, and Maynard, I want you to get in because I know you're like, damn, is Lamont going to take all the time? But we got to talk about, the controversy that's going on about Beyonce, who is nominated for Best Rock Performance. And, people are saying, damn, well, shit. I mean, she just got a Country Love, and now all of a sudden she got, nominated for, Best Rock Performance. I mean, Lamont, should she have been in the category of a rock? Should she have been in a rock category, or should she have stayed in a R&B lane? How does that work that Beyonce can be nominated for a rock, in a rock category, but shit, you can't put Blink-182 in a rap category?
Well, here's the deal, man.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And this is what you're not gonna like. And I know Maynard is getting ready to spew some. He's getting ready to spew some hate. You know what I mean? But we gotta understand, gentlemen, is that's Beyonce. Beyonce can do whatever the fuck she wants to do. Beyonce's married to Jay-Z. Beyonce has a baby named Blue. How many kids do you know named Blue? You know what I mean? So, listen, B gets to do whatever she wants, and that's just how it goes. And whoever doesn't like it, let me know your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle, your Facebook handle, and me and my fellow Beehivers, we'll come see you. You know what I'm saying? You got something to say, we're going to come see you. So, Maynard, what you got?
She can do anything she want to do except get the president elected. She can't do that shit. She can't do that shit.
You get a W, Playboy. You get a W.
Nah, this is the thing, and this is real, right? So, Kid Rock, we talked about him a little bit once in the past, even though nobody heard that yet. But Kid Rock is not down with us anymore, or whatever. Whoever decided he was down with us, and who gave him the pass, that's neither here nor there. But Kid Rock was in the rap lane, and then we find out that Kid Rock ain't down with us politically. All of a sudden, people are like, yo, how did he cross over on us in our lane anyway? The Beyonce thing and the Rock or whatever, like, come on, man. I don't, you know what? How about this? I don't even watch them damn shows. I don't care. She can have a Grammy, a Emmy, a Tony, a Oscar, all that. Well, she can't get an Oscar. She can't act for shit. But all that shit, she can have all that shit. I don't care.
Here come the Beehive. There come the Beehive. Here comes the Beehive.
You see,
here come the Beehive.
Obsessed. You seen Obsessed. You know that shit was horrible. Come on.
Better watch the tone, Playboy.
Come on now. You know that Jennifer Hudson out-acted her in Dreamgirls. Come on now.
I'm not gonna say it no more, man. Watch your handle. Well, I mean, watch your tone, because we know your Twitter handle, your Facebook, your Instagram that you don't use.
I stepped my Instagram game up, but I did that on your strength alone. And Beyonce, if you get a rock Grammy, good for you. If you don't, good for you too. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. What? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't fucking matter.
All right, fellas, let's end on, takeaways for the week. We talked about race. We talked about, marriage. We talked about black people. We talked about Beyonce and the Beehive. Lamont, let's start with you. What's your takeaway for this week, man?
Hey, man, I just need everybody to stay woke, as they say. Stay away from Kid Rock. And just keep like, yo, man.
Kid Rock.
Yo, son, just
Kid Rock do.
Yo, man, this Kid Rock guy, man, I just, we just gotta talk to him, man. I want to talk to his African American baby moms, to his African American son, and to his African American grandson. And I want to just tell him it's all gonna be okay. I'm hoping he's just doing this all for a show and for a check. But I'm really hurting deep down from the shit that I've seen and I've read over the past couple of days about Kid Rock. So let's just stay away from.
Why are you hurting? Are you hurting because he's selling Donald Trump T-shirts now, or I mean, what is
absolutely.
it? That okay? So why is that a problem? I mean, we all know that he's the rock and roll Jesus now. I mean, he got Born Free. I mean, he got American Badass. I mean, he came out with the Badass beer and Red Stag. I know Lamont got. I mean, Maynard got a bottle of that in his bar.
No.
I mean, so I mean, what's the real problem with Kid Rock before we go?
All I'm saying is that I feel like Kid Rock is embracing the Confederate, African American hating lifestyle. That's a lifestyle of, all the black people are bad. We eat chicken and drink beer and eat watermelon. You know what I'm saying? Which, one out of the three. One out of three I don't do. You know what I'm saying?
Which one is that one out of three? Which one is that one? Which one is the one?
I don't eat watermelon. I'm good on that. I'm good on watermelon.
Okay.
I feel, but all jokes aside, I just feel like he's embracing a culture that's not inclusive, but exclusive. And I feel like if you're an artist and what you're supposed to be doing is supposed to be inclusive, and shame on Warner Brothers for what they did by putting some of that paraphernalia on their website. You know what I mean? Because that right there is an endorsement of that kind of behavior for a publicly traded company that's supposed to be inclusive and not exclusive. So that's just not cool in my book.
Maynard?
Yo, I hate to do this, but I have to end slightly I don't want to say on a sad note, but I just want to say on a mindful note. This year, we lost a friend. All three of us know this young lady, and she's a legend in the radio industry. Her name was Chris Kelly, she went by Chris Kelly on the radio. And the other day I was going through my phone and I just saw her number and her face, and it reminded me that you gotta look out for your people, man, and you gotta reach out to your people and let them know that you think about them, that you share and care for them, and because you don't know how much time you got. There's my man, Rashaan Salam. He's not my man, but I'm saying Rashaan Salam, who was a phenomenal running back at Colorado and didn't have the great pro career that we hoped that he would have, but he was a Heisman Trophy winner. He unfortunately, this past week, they suspect at this point that it was suicide, where they found his body in the park. So mental illness, mental health issues, and suicide, this is all a real situation. We got to be mindful. Check on your people. Call your people. Let them know, hey, dog, hey, I love you, dude. I love the both of y'all. Y'all my people. And I just want to make sure that nobody should feel left alone in this world. Everybody got to have somebody in their corner.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for the week. Episode 3 is in the can. Thank you so very much for tuning into this episode of 3 Black Guys with a Mic. For previous episodes and more info about us, check out our website at 3blackguyswithamic.com. Remember, we want your feedback on the podcast. So go to iTunes, Google Play, or however you listen to this podcast, rate us, and leave us a review. Plus, subscribe to our podcast for new episodes and celebrity guests every week. Until next week, my baby, peace out.